Same-sex relationships are hugely controversial, but add a child to the equation and the subject's even more emotive. Gay parenting is almost non-existent here, but that's not the picture elsewhere. Tonight on BBC Newsline we hear from two women, one with roots in Northern Ireland, who've had a child through IVF. Caroline Fusco comes originally from Belfast, but emigrated to Canada, where she lives with her partner, Kathleen Gallagher. Their son Liam is now 7 months old, and Wendy Austin went to meet them.
Sunshine, my goodness, how do we organise this? A sunny afternoon playing outside. It's the kind of scene you'd see in thousands of back gardens across Northern Ireland. Well, almost, for here there's one baby, two mums and no dad. Caroline Fusco and Kathleen Gallagher are enjoying the moment with their son, but they don't believe their Toronto family life could have been possible here.
It wasn't in my imaginary here. When I went to Canada, I was settling there, and then when I met Kathleen, it was one of the first things that we really talked about, and we both had wanted to parent, and that dream could become a reality. And I think that I'm sure there are couples here that do this, but that it's not made explicit.
You would know, though, that there would be a lot of people here who would feel quite strongly that a father or role model was an important element in a family.
We knew in the case of a boy, many others might worry or suggest that he wouldn't have a male role model or a father, and I knew that there were many, many men in our lives, family and friends, who would play significant roles in his life. So, and I also had an extremely close relationship with my own father, so I know the importance of that person in a child's life.
We understand how and support the idea that male role models are very important. I think what's important for Liam is that he has two parents who adore him and will nourish him and support him and love him.
How different would you say attitudes are to couples like yourselves in Canada compared to here?
The kind of city that we live in and is one that celebrates difference and diversity. There is a very large gay and lesbian network in Toronto that also has a very active parenting community and parenting network, and has classes for children and children as they get older that have same-sex parents, so he can go together with other children who have two moms, two dads, and obviously share experiences there.
Last month the House of Lords ruled for the first time that unmarried couples here can apply to adopt. Any change to the law on gay adoption, though, would have to be approved by the Assembly. Caroline and Kathleen believe change will come.
Liam was baptised by a Catholic priest in Toronto in a Catholic church, and we had a baptism like every other young Catholic baby might have who chooses that. Among churches at home, the Catholic Church would be slower to change than almost every other one on this particular issue. And yet we were still able to find a priest who understood that Liam was the center of the story and that our love was what mattered more. So I feel optimistic in some ways about that.
Well, we're going to discuss this further. The gay rights activist Andrew Muir and Callum Webster of the Christian Institute, they view same-sex parenting from very different perspectives, and they're with me now. Andrew, just describe the situation for same-sex couples who want to bring up their child in Northern Ireland. How difficult is it?
Legally, there's different barriers, but attitudes in Northern Ireland are changing. They're changing quite substantially. Northern Ireland's becoming very much an open place, and what we're actually finding now is that the politicians are having to catch up with that. The Human Fertilisation and Embryology Bill is currently going through Westminster, and that will make it much easier for lesbian and gay couples to access fertilisation services. The House of Lords recently had a judgment which said that gay couples and unmarried couples should be allowed to adopt, so the Northern Ireland Assembly just needs to follow through on that.
Callum, this is obviously not acceptable to a lot of people in Northern Ireland. What's your view? you?
Well, I get rather concerned when I see the demands of gay and lesbian activists to have children trumping the rights of that child to have either a male or a female parent, a mother or a father. I think children have been designed such that we have a mother and a father, and when we provide IVF services for lesbians or for single women, then we deliberately deny them the right to a father, and I would be concerned that that is what's being legislated.
There are many lone parents, though, bringing up children on their own, and, you know, is the most important thing here that they have a loving home, the child?
Well, I think it is equally important, though, that they have a mother and a father as well, and in the case that we've been considering, we hear that it was an anonymous sperm donor, so that child will grow up without ever knowing who his father is, and that's a situation that's been brought about deliberately.
Andrew, what would you say about that? Should a child not have the right to know both parents?
What we have in 2008 is a very diverse society in Northern Ireland, which is getting even more diverse, and I think that is fantastic. I love Northern Ireland, and I think Northern Ireland is getting better, and what we should do is we should embrace that. The family as it existed in 1968 is very different than in 2008, and what we need to do is we need to adjust to that. The American Psychological Association said in 2004 that the sexual orientation of parents has no bearing whatsoever on the quality of parenting. Bernardos feel that lesbian and gay couples are just as able to adopt and be able to provide a secure and loving environment than straight couples. So to me the issue is about accepting diversity and celebrating that.
Accepting diversity, Callum, can we not move forward? Is that not a sign of the times?
Well, surely the importance in dealing with the bringing up of children is the rights of the child to a mother and father, and in this case I feel that is being denied.
I'm sure this is being debated in homes right across Northern Ireland. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us for that. And you can see the interview with Caroline Fusco and Kathleen Gallagher in full on our website, which is www.bbc.co.uk/Newsline. Now, it's obviously a controversial subject, and we want to know your views. Is same-sex parenting good or bad for children?